Not me getting distracted by my phone, but okay. Yeah, I just went live. I forgot I was on the phone with you. Oh my god, the ADHD struck hard. I forgot I was on the phone with you.
Okay, you probably have to go.
I do.
I love you, Dean.
I love you too.
Have a good life.
I will. I will tell you how it goes.
Please do.
Bye.
Bye.
So I'm just waiting for some of my friends to show up here. But yeah. I'm probably going to repeat this a couple times, but I was a witch for a little while. And yeah, I have been doing but I have experienced some pretty spooky stuff over the years. And some of y'all were really interested in that. So I wanted to open up a space to get into that a little bit. And this was a really bad idea to do this like the first night of my period because I'm so bloated and I will probably go to the bathroom like 3 times during the stream. But you know what? That is okay. I feel like a pregnant one right now. I'm going to go to the bathroom. Can't. Sorry, guys. Okay, chat, let's try that again. Hopefully, this does not happen once again. Oh, and hello. Oh, I know you. Hey, Rico. I'm kind of shocked that you're like the first one that popped up. Very good to see you. But yeah, as I was saying previously, I used to be a witch, and these are kind of the spookiest stories, creepiest stories that I have about that. And I was gonna wait a little bit just because the my Twitter followers were very eager to join us, at least in theory. But yeah, I used to do that kind of thing, and along with that came some pretty creepy things in my house. But yeah, in the meantime, I know that I've mentioned that like twice now that I was a witch. Do you have any questions for me? Anything like that? Nope, cool. Glad to know that. But yeah. So yeah. I used to be a witch, and when I was this was when I was just starting the whole witchy thing, and it was 4th of July, and it was late, like past midnight. Everyone was asleep. I was the only one up. Because I was the only one up, I needed to turn off all the lights downstairs. And so I'm in my living room, right? And it's directly connected to the kitchen, and beyond that, the office. My house is mostly in a loop. And so I turn off the lamp in the family room, and I round the corner to look into the kitchen, and it was the weirdest thing. I didn't see anything, but I felt something there, and it felt like I had just locked eyes with something. And in that moment, I got the overwhelming sense of if I moved, I was going to die. And so I just stood like that for like 5 minutes, just frozen. And I had the job of turning off all of my lights, all the lights downstairs, And so the first thing I did was I turned the kitchen light on and I grabbed my flashlight because I was so scared of turning the lights off that I was like, no, I have to have a light source on me, like at all times. Like I cannot be left in the dark here. And so the family room light was originally off. I went back and I turned that on. And kitchen light's now on. I go and turn on the office light. I go and turn on every single light so that I can work out some kind of path. And I so I start turn on my flashlight again with the family room and then the kitchen and then the office and then the living room and then the entryway. And the second I turned off the entryway lights, I sprinted up those stairs. And the entire time, I felt something like at my back. I was so convinced that I was going to see something as soon as I turned around to shut my bedroom door that it actually scared me when I didn't see anything. But I shut the door, immediately got into bed. I was shaking. It was so bad. And yeah, that was a weird night. That was a really weird night. And then I the other story was just as creepy, actually. I what I was celebrating one of my birthdays. I can't remember which one it was, but I was celebrating one of my birthdays. My friends were over. They were gonna come over, one of the two, and this was around the same time. I kind of felt this like creepy feeling about my parents' closet in their bedroom, and so naively I go into their bedroom from the bathroom. There's two entrances, one from the hall, one from the bathroom. And I go in through the bathroom and knowing that something creepy is in that room, I make the really stupid decision to say authoritatively, I know you're in there. Come out. I want to talk to you. Guys, like it's worse remembering it because it was just mostly shock at the time. But what happened was, as soon as I said those words, yes, that was basically my reaction, Rico. As soon as I said those words, a fully materialized, fully black form, head, shoulders, arms, legs, torso, walked clean out of that closet and just casually. And I turned the fuck around. I turned around and I walked straight downstairs, acted like nothing happened. It was genuinely it was one of the craziest experiences that I've had in this house. I sincerely believe my house is not haunted, I'm haunted. But that's like a whole other thing. Yeah, yeah. It's been it's been crazy. It's been quite the ride. Let me actually see. Let's see how many times I can tell these stories tonight. I am, for reference, on Twitter right now, tagging my friends in the live that wanted to join. And I'm not saying I'm impatient. I'm not. I promise I'm not. I just and you know what? This was a dry run. Thank you very much for listening, Rico. I will be telling these stories at least once more. We got this out of our system, okay? That's what we did here. And it's just you and me. I mean, and honestly, that's more viewers than I've had in a while. I'm still working on it. But yeah, it's this has been it's been real. I was just thinking back to how innocently all this started, which I don't really think I'm gonna get into with you guys because it's long and complicated, even for me. So we'll just leave that in mystery. But yeah. So the witch. Okay, finally a question. Ah! I'm sorry. That's really exciting. I thank you for putting me out of my misery of just bumbling along. Okay. So the witch stuff was like by choice or like yes and no. So I've always been able to see things, sense things, know things, and I grew up in a very passive Catholic church who didn't have any classes or extracurriculars, didn't even teach that there were spiritual gifts or that you could have a relationship with God. None of that. Didn't teach the Bible either. So, yeah, real good teaching on the church's part. That was not going to get into that, but not happy with them whatsoever. Did not like my upbringing. And so, yeah, no one told me that I couldn't be a witch and Christian at the same time because no one had taught me about anything that I was experiencing. So, yeah. It was by choice, but it was also, I had no idea what I was getting into, and the stuff that I was getting into was incredibly dark and frankly abusive, and it was 7 years of my life, and I'm not going to say that I wish that I could have those 7 years back, but when things when you start delving into demonic things, it's not like it's not all good experiences. Like, I believe the demons are real, and I think that they took advantage of how naive me and my friend were. My friend was also spiritually sensitive like me, and she got me into it. And instead of spells, things like that, nature healing kind of thing, it was very, very centered on our spiritual sensitivities, that kind of thing. So, yeah, and they kind of just ran with that. The demons really took advantage of that. Yeah. So it was a choice, but also it was an uninformed choice. Thank you for the question. Class, do we have anything else? Death stares at the chat. I'll take that as a no. That is okay. But yeah, it oh, thank you. Yeah, it wasn't a fun time. I'll say that. Hugs back. All right. What did Twitter like? Oh, one of my old friends. Nice. But yeah, that was fun. Fun times. I have a story from before I was a witch. Just as creepy. And I let's see. I went to a seance that was hosted at the public library, and things were flying around, being thrown around, as was prompted, as they wanted to be. And yeah, that whole situation was just weird, bro. Things fucking levitated off the table. I I still it was still a very, very weird situation. Just because, like, you don't see that in the natural world. But levitation, things being thrown, shit like that. And so I go home, and the next day, I was very, very passionately interested in this stuff, by the way, because spiritually sensitive. And I get home, and the next day, at the time, we had a basket with like hair supplies in it, and this basket of hair supplies had a hairbrush in it. And one night, my mom's cooking pasta in the kitchen. I'm standing a couple feet from her, and this hairbrush kind of slides and rotates downward in the mini basket that it's being kept in. And I'm like, oh, okay. Chat, Immediately after, it rotated back into the position that it came from against gravity. So it went down and then it went up again. That was. I was excited about that, guys. I was young enough to be excited about that, okay? I was in like maybe sixth grade. And yeah, which reminds me, at that age, I was starting to use the Ouija board. And this is a cool little God story for you. God was protecting me. And this one night, I hide the Ouija board under my bed and I pull it out and get everything situated. But first, I turn off all the lights, including the night light out in the hallway. And this is still such a crazy story, chat. So, what happened was, I had a nightlight in my room, okay? And I tried to turn that one off as well. It was a suction cup that was an outlet. So it was flashlight, suction cup, outlet. And that thing grabbed. So I couldn't. Y'all, I tried tugging that thing out of my outlet for like 10 seconds. Solid 10 seconds. I was wrestling with that thing. I give up. I'm like, okay, so there'll be a little bit of light. I liked the creepy vibes, okay? That was all it was. I was doing it for the vibes. And it was a glow in the dark thing too. And so I sit on my bed and I put the board in front of me, put the planchette down, and the second that I put my fingers on the planchette, my nightlight goes flying out of the outlet. Cannot make this up. So I immediately I understand that to be a don't do this. So I just kind of sigh and say, okay. I shove the outlet back in, which was hard to get back in as well, and put the board away for the night. It was really genuinely crazy. Hello to my new viewer. I will start the stories over again for you. Rico, you can go off and play with your boyfriends. Okay. So, I came on here tonight to talk about two specific stories, and I've kind of been filling airtime with like more stories in addition to it, but I'll go back to the original too, like I promised. And so, the first story that I wanted to tell was of 4th of July. 4th of July came around, and I was just getting into all the witchy demon stuff. And so it's late, maybe close to 1 in the morning, and everyone else is in bed. I'm still downstairs. I was looking up creepy stuff online, I guess. Can't really remember. I had a brookie that night and it made me sick, but irrelevant. And what happened was, because I was the last one downstairs, I had the responsibility to turn off all the lights. Whatever, no big deal. It's pretty much light out anyway, because we don't live in the country, and the moon was out. You get me. You know what I'm saying. So, family room, it goes family room, kitchen, dining room, living room, entrance, hallway, whatever. My house is just one big loop basically on the first floor. And so I'm in the family room. I turn off my lamp and I walk towards the kitchen, and I look up and I just freeze. Uh, Physically, I couldn't see anything standing in front of me, but in that moment, I locked eyes with something, and I just got the overwhelming sense of if you move, you will die. And I stood frozen like that for a good 5 minutes. I don't think it was 10, but it was definitely at least 5 minutes. And here I am, frozen in genuinely the deepest fear that I had felt to date. And I had the fucking responsibility of turning the lights off as I went upstairs. So I'm just standing there, feeling like I'm going to die if I move. And then finally, after 5 minutes, the sensation of fear lifts off of me just enough for me to go and grab my flashlight. We had like a hoard of flashlights in the kitchen. We have like a little desk workstation area. Um, like it was right to my left. So I grab one of the flashlights and turn it on. And I am just formulating in my head, okay, how can I turn off all these lights to feel to make it upstairs safely? And so what I decided on was I turned the flashlight on. I turned the family room light back on. I turned on the kitchen light, the office light, the living room light, the entryway light, and I believe maybe no, I didn't turn on the upstairs hallway light, but I systematically, because like I said, my house is a loop. I went through the circle basically and turned off the lights, flashlight in hand, already lit. And as soon as I turned off the entryway light, I booked it upstairs. And the whole time it felt like something was on my back. And flashlights on, the feeling of something being right there was so intense that it almost scared me more to turn around and see nothing there because it felt that strong. So I get to my bedroom. Thankfully, it's the first door on the landing. And I turn around, I see nothing, not even eyes. Shut the door, turn the flashlight off, and I was shaking. I was shaking. It took me forever to calm down. After that, some more stuff happened that night, which I'm not going to get into, but that was pretty, in terms of feeling fear, that is the most scared that I've ever felt. Like in terms of like that. And the next story that I wanted to tell you is what happened at my birthday party. So I've never felt super comfortable in my parents' bedroom, like specifically their closet. It's a little walk in closet. And I definitely opened some doors in that place, but I think it was there before I really started gouging that out. And I was hosting a birthday party, and Rico, now I remember correctly, it was in the middle of the birthday party. Oh! Hi, Moot! Hi, Oomphy! My friend from New Zealand is here. Hello! I'm telling the creepy stories. And another mutual, thank you all so much for joining. This is the second story that I am telling tonight. And for the two of you who just joined, I can go back and tell the first again. But the second story is I was hosting my birthday party, and my parents' closet was always creepy to me. Like, I've always kind of felt something was off with the closet. And because when I was a witch, I finally started getting into addressing what I felt more. Like, I started becoming more aware of spirits and that kind of thing. And so I felt it was daytime, so I felt confident enough to kind of confront it. And I'd done, wouldn't you know, EVPs in that bedroom, in that closet. I'd heard some weird things. Can't really remember what now because it wasn't anything of it wasn't anything important. And so being daytime, I just impulsively I think I was 19. Okay, my frontal lobe had not yet developed, and I I'm I don't know, bravado looking for a fight. I literally so it's bedroom. Hello, rewind. Bathroom, bedroom, hallway. It's connected to the two. I go in through the bathroom, and I say authoritatively, I know you're here. I want to come out. I want to talk to you. And immediately after I said that, a solid, fully human looking black form walked out of the closet casually. Head, torso, arms, legs as tall as the 7, 8 foot doorway height. And oh, thank you, Brittany. I love you. She's being very supportive right now. And I, yeah, that I didn't scream, I didn't panic. I was kind of in shock when I saw the form walk out of the closet. And so I just turned around and walked downstairs and noped out of that very hard. Went back and joined my birthday party. And it was genuinely, it was so creepy. I honestly, like, I was almost in tears thinking about it just because I was in shock thinking about how insane that was when I told it the first time. But crazy stuff. And then there was a 4th of July incident that I still think about on the 4th of July every year. And for some of you, you've heard this already. For others, I'm just repeating for the new people. So thank you very much for your patience. And yes, this will change slightly every time because I'm ADHD and there's no script. But the 4th of July incident, it was maybe 1 in the morning. I was really the last one awake, so I had the responsibility of turning off all of my lights, all the lights downstairs, because everyone else had gone up to bed. And so what happened was I felt ready for bed, and my house is laid out in a loop. So it goes family room, kitchen, dining room, living room, entryway, hallway, family room. So I turn on I turn the light off in my family room, and I go back I turn the corner, and I'm just struck with like the deepest sensation of if you move, you're going to die. And I'm frozen like that for like 5 minutes. It was the most insane feeling that I'd felt before. It wasn't good. And so when when I finally got the courage to move again, I formulated a plan. I was like, I will grab this flashlight, turn on every light in the downstairs, and turn them off closest to like in a circle, and then run for it once I get to the stairs. And that's exactly what I did. And running up those stairs, it felt like something was on my back. That was how intense it was. And I was shocked when I did not turn around and see at least eyes staring at me. So I slammed my door shut. I turn off my flashlight. I was shaking for like I it was not a fun time, and things happened after that I won't discuss, but yeah, it was not a good time. Not at all. And then this is dinner, by the way. Good old Midwest casserole. But a couple bonus stories that I was telling was when I was maybe 6th grade. I think 6th grade. To my non-Americans out there, I was like 11. I went to a seance that was hosted by my local library. Heavy instruments were flying off the tables. We were seeing things. It was pretty insane. And so yeah. Next day I go home, and I'm sensitive to the spirits, air quotes, out there. So maybe that was related. I'm not sure what really caused it, but day after, it's almost dinner time. My mom's making pasta in the kitchen, and in the kitchen we had this basket for hair stuff, and in the basket was a mini basket um of a hair with a hairbrush and hair bands, and I'm just chilling, and then I'm looking at the hairbrush, and all of a sudden it goes downward. It rotates downward. And I'm like, okay, gravity. And then immediately it rotates back up to its original position against gravity. Literally the day after things were being checked around at the library. Little me was so excited that I had brought home a poltergeist. Jesus. And so I was fascinated, I was excited, and geez, you know what? That's when things started. That's cool. Did not expect to unlock that part of my own lore tonight. But yeah, that's when everything really started for me. In terms of the dark stuff. One of my moots, he asked earlier if me being a witch was a choice. It was, but it was an uninformed choice. My Roman Catholic Church did nothing to educate me on spiritual gifts or the fact that you could have a relationship with God. So I kind of was just like, cool, this is normal. This is what you do with these things. But yeah, if any of my moots want to drop questions into the chat, I'm more than happy to answer them instead of me just like talking to air and happily chowing on my casserole. But in the meantime, yeah, that's why I became a witch. I thought that was kind of like the natural thing. I had an older friend in high school, and not older, not like pedophile older, like 2 grades up, and she introduced me to that stuff. And she too was spiritually sensitive, so I was kind of like, oh, okay, this is normal for people like us. And one thing led to another, and that's kind of how I developed a little bit of a demon problem in my home. So that was fun to deal with. Especially fun when my parents don't believe in God. Yeah, it was something. When I was about 13, I got jumped on by the demon thing that was brought into my house from that seance when I was 11. If you guys want to hear about that. Yeah, I'll take that as a yeah. When I was about 13, I want to say, I was sleeping with my door open, as one does, and I had a little dresser on my wall, and I was laying down in bed, and all of a sudden, I see this face of a little girl appear over my dresser in my doorway, and that startles the hell out of me. So, takes me a little bit to finally get back to sleep, and so at that point, I was sleeping on my stomach. So I roll over, I'm on my stomach, and all of a sudden, mind you, my sister tried to say that what it was her jumping on my back to turn the light on. She never, not once, came into my room to turn my light on ever. That was just her trying to feel better. And so I'm laying there on my stomach, and I hear nothing, no movement coming from the hallway, no noises, And all of a sudden, I feel this tiny form jump on my back. And I immediately jump, and it immediately goes away. Nothing, like, no rolling off, no noises, no nothing. Just jumps with the knees, poof, gone. And yeah, it was something. I jumped, it seemed innocent, and it took me a second to calm down after that, but once I did, and this was the first time that I saw that being, I'll just say being. So, yeah, I thought it was a girl and her older sister. The older sister was much more demonic in nature, and the younger sister, who jumped on my back, was much more innocent in nature. And they looked like siblings. They wore white gowns, black hair, round, pale faces, all that jazz. So, yeah. I'm thinking that I'm going to end the stream at about 1 hour, so in about 8 minutes, unless you guys had any more questions or comments or anything. But, yeet. Ooh, Twitter. Aww. Oomph. Immediately gets distracted. Sorry. But yeah, I think that I will end it with one more spooky story and call it a night. I hope that I give you guys nightmares, JK. But one of the scariest things that happened to me, I was a little bit older. I was 15, 16, and sorry, my entire torso is like filled with air right now. I was 15, 16, and I had a pink lamp next to my bed, and it had a little clicker, like the where you roll it with your thumb to turn it on and off. And so I had that next to my bed, and I look at the lamp. I'm like looking at the lamp to turn it off. I turn it off. I look at the foot of my bed, and I see two glowing red eyes, and I rationalize, okay? I'm like, nah, no, 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 no. My brain's going, there's no way. Denial. I'm like, I was just looking at the lamp. It's probably just an after image. Two separate glowing red after images. Okay. And so I look off to my left, expecting the after images to follow to the left. Nope. 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 Not what happened. Nope. Goes to the right. It goes to the right. Goes so to the right that it goes around my bed. Okay. Practically up to my face. And at this point, I'm frantically trying to click the light back on. Mind you, it was one of those stupid lights where you had to do it in a very specific way, and I was not doing it in the right way. Okay. I was not. And I'm frantically flipping that light. I get it on, fully expecting to see something fully bodied there, whatever, because what the heck? Two red glowing things in my face. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Dude, I was so scared. I was so scared. I genuinely had such a hard time sleeping that night. I kid you not. And then for a while, I was sleeping with a Holy Mary medallion. I won't get into that for now, but I was sleeping with that for like a year, and I would pray the prayer to Saint Michael, the archangel. Um, as someone who's not Catholic anymore, I cringe, but um, no offense to my Catholic moods. I don't really, I'm not that theological camp anymore, but I was praying St. Michael prayer one night, and in the middle of it, like after I say, like, protect us from the snares of the evil one, to my right, like, and it's nighttime, everything's dark in my room. To my right, I hear a laugh. Like, I just like this sarcastic, dry chuckle. And oh, that was rough. That was a rough night. I yeah, that scared me. But that's it's 58 minutes. If you guys have any other questions or want me to stay in longer, I will give you another minute to write/comment. Otherwise, we're gonna call it a night. And thank you guys all so much for joining me. Thank you so, so much for listening to me. Thank you for coming on here and talking and throwing your questions in and just saying hi to me. That really, really means a lot to me. I've done a lot of lives where I've gotten no engagements. So this was really, really fun for me, and I can't wait to do it again for all of you guys. But yeah. It's so weird seeing us flipped. Anyway, though. All right. I think that concludes it. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night, day, whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you in the comments section.